Hey there everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of our Let's Play series for Football Manager 2016. Last time around we had a couple of really good wins. Let's check out our schedule here. So a brilliant 4-3 win over Tottenham, and we won that tie. Was it 4-3 in the end? Yeah, it was 4-3. I think that was just the one game, wasn't it? It ended up being, what, 5-4? 5-4 up, I think, over the two legs. Yeah, it was. We had a 1-1 draw. And then a good win away at PSV, which PSV were the second place team, so a good 3-2 victory over them, which is, like I said in the last game, we can't keep a clean sheet to save ourselves, but at least we're scoring a lot of goals, so looks like we're hitting a little bit of form, actually. We had a sort of bit of a bad run of form. Well, not bad run, really. We only had one loss in there for... One loss since, December. We're now into the end of March. So we just had a few sort of draws here and there. We weren't sort of really hitting our stride, but still conceding lots, but we're scoring a lot. So at least, that's quite hopefully entertaining for you guys. So what have we got next coming up? So we've got a few games. We've got one more game of the Eredivisie against PEC, I should say. And then we got our first game away at Villarreal. And then we've got a game in between SC Cambo. And then the home league against Villarreal in the Euro Cup quarterfinal. So we should have some fun games in this episode. What I think I'm actually going to do, guys, I think I'm actually going to skip ahead to the Villarreal game. So we'll skip through the PC game. They're sitting in 12th. It's a home game. Hopefully we should have a victory. We'll see how we go. But yeah, we'll skip ahead to the Villarreal game, and I'll be back in a tick, guys. And we're back. Alrighty, game day against Villarreal. So we had a good 5-1 victory over PEC. A couple of good goals by El Ghazi and Nouri, so they played really well again. So definitely hitting their straps late in the form. They sort of struggled. Well, El Ghazi especially struggled sort of through this section of the fixture list. Nouri sort of played pretty well all through the season, but they're both really hitting their straps at this time, which is good. Milik's back in full training, which is awesome. It's great to have him in the run-in. Alrighty, so a bit of scouting, a bit of looking at Villarreal, who they are, what they do, all that kind of stuff. So, obviously got a number of good players, quite equal to us. Bruno at DM, brilliant player, very good player. Probably a bit underrated actually, I think, in real life and in the game. So, well, probably not in the games, you've got some brilliant stats in the game. But yeah, righty, cool. What else have they got? Obviously lots of good players all around the park, really. Leo Baptisteo. Roberto Soldado's back there. Interesting. Dos Santos. Dennis Suarez. Nothing really too much jumps at me. I mean, we obviously know they've got great players, so that's not really sort of a given. So, what about their tactics? It looks like they usually start a 4-4-2, which is we haven't actually come up against a really 4-4-2. So, interesting. So obviously 4-4-2. Strength of the 4-4-2 is obviously basically the two strikers, and obviously the flanks having a lot of support down the flanks. Obviously the weakness of the 4-4-2 is the middle of the park. The fact there's only two players in the midfield park here, so interesting. So we may make a little bit of a quick adjustment there. I think we're just going to start with our 5-2-3 actually. Maybe we should just go for our I don't know. Maybe we should go with our just normal formation. Don't know, I'm a little bit torn about whether actually having the wing backs pushed up a little bit would be beneficial. Because normally they'd sort of sit across this line, but they'd be sort of sitting sort of almost on top of these players here, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Either means they're going to sort of get bogged down with these guys, or whether they'll actually sort of maybe push these guys back, maybe make a bit of attacking. I don't know. Obviously both of them have 3 in the middle of the park, so that's good. Yeah, I'll think about that for a little bit. Right, so tactics, yeah, it's fine. And then usually, sometimes they switch to a 4-2-2. Not a lot though. So what about their goals? So nothing really jumps out at me there. Nothing here either. Assist locations. A lot of assists from the left, and also from the right as well. Not a whole lot from the middle. So obviously they're wide players. Are they big players? Are they really good players? They concede a lot actually from the left as well. From the right and from the left, or from the wide basically areas. Hardly concede anything through the middle, which is very interesting. So that's something we have to think about there. Whether we actually exploit the flanks a little bit more as well, since they are weak out that way. We're going to check on their wide play, see if there's any sort of opposition instructions we can implement there. We'll look at that in a minute. Goal assists, so pass, cross, through balls. It's pretty solid standards. A few more long balls than maybe normal, but interesting. Goal types, placed shots, not a whole lot of headers. So even though they're sort of out wide here, obviously it shows that because they're not a whole lot of headers. For 24 assists and only 8 headers, it obviously shows that a lot of their players like inside forwards are actually cutting inwards, which makes a lot of sense. Yes, nothing really jumps out at me there either. Goal times, a lot of them actually late on, so I probably suggest that actually maybe they change their tactic late and go to that 4-2-2 and actually play the last 20 minutes. So I have to keep an eye out for that. That's probably what I would suggest that would indicate. They actually change their formation as soon as they score a lot of goals late. So we'll keep an eye out for that and maybe make a few adjustments ourselves. That's pretty much everything. I think we're going to jump into their players now, see who's going to be available, potentially. So in terms of their midfield, so who gets the most assists? So we've got Dennis Suarez out on the left, the midfielder left. We'll keep an eye on him. Who else we have? We've got midfield centre, Bruno from the midfield defensive mid, Jonathan Dos Santos. So no one really, none of their wide players. Obviously you've got like some here and there, like lots of them it's fairly well spread out actually, really. There's not a whole lot of like, massive standouts. But Kambu is obviously their number one goal scorer, then Baptisteo is their second, and Soldado is their third. So their strikers obviously are their main men, which is interesting. So Adrian out on he's actually a striker, so he can play out on the right as well. So interesting. A few things to think about for us. We're going to jump in and have a look. So it's an away game. The weather's fine. The pitch is okay, so that's good. Means we can play our normal game. Jump into the team selection. So made a fair few changes last time around, so we're going to jump in and do all this back again. So Van Rijn on the right. I think we're actually going to leave Vergever in at centre mid, centre defence. He's actually playing really well. He's in some good form. He's a little bit quicker than Heitinger as well, so we'll keep with that. Nuri's going to play out on the left. We're going to put Shone back out on the right, even though Yunus did play well. He's still coming back from injury. Milik's not ready to play yet. He'll probably need a game in the first team. Claessen's going to play in place of Sinkgraven. Putting Nemanja G back in at box-to-box. He's not playing all that well at the moment, though. We'll give him another run. He's our best player in there by far, so we'll give him another chance. We're going to put Van Bazoer, in as defensive mid there. Silerson back in as goal, obviously. El Ghazi still stays at striker. And Riedewald, it's down to 93%, so we could put Heidinger in there, but I don't know, guys. Yeah, so their strikers are fairly quick, so I'm leaning towards leaving in Riedewald because he's quicker than Heitinger. So he's playing Suarez. Are you out on the right? Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to leave Riedewald in there, even though he's down on condition. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to leave him there because he is quicker than Heitinger by a fair bit, so that's probably going to be important. Alright, do we want Sinkgraven in? Probably not really. We've got Duarte who can play there if we need to. Suero's back in the team as well. He's back training, so he's a good option that we've got there if we need him. Probably won't play him though because he's down on sharpness, so probably the game after this one will be his game. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much everything. Just going to double check. Yep, all good. I think we will start with this formation. It's what we've been playing with most of the season. It's what we've got a lot of our good results on. We'll start with this one. Obviously it's still got the 3 in midfield, which is what's important. And we'll see how this goes. We can always change later on. Alrighty. 1-1 draw would be absolutely brilliant because it means obviously we have the away goal. Coming back home would be very, very good. So Suarez is going to be their defensive guy here. Bruno's obviously going to be pushing up attacking. So both their fullbacks are at least sort of support / attack. They're pushed up a little bit higher, so I'll keep an eye on that. Alrighty, opposition instructions. What does our guy suggest? Weaker foot for the midfielder right. Actually, can we see your weak foot? Yeah, so you're actually very strong on your right, but you're weak on your left. So, given that you're playing out on the right, we're actually going to fun you onto your left. There we go. What about Bruno? I think you've got weaknesses from memory. Yes, you're strong on both, really, or relatively strong. What about the left midfielder? What about you for your feet? Yes, you're fairly strong at this. I'm not going to go for weaker foot on you because I don't think that's going to get us a whole lot of benefit. What about our 2 strikers? Yep, so weak on your left. I'm definitely going to show you onto your left then, on your left foot. And what about Baptisteo? You're strong on both, so we're not going to do it for you, which you haven't already. Alright, that's cool. Take off hard tackling for all these guys. I don't like it. Just don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. Dennis Suarez closing down those 2 midfield guys. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Alright guys, we're going to run with this. We're going to go to our team talk, challenge our guys to pick off where they left off. Oh, that was a little bit harsh. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, it wasn't a great team talk, so hopefully that doesn't affect us too much. Alright guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back soon. A 1-1 draw. Quite pleased with that actually. I think we were the better team over the course of the match. We scored first, and then we held the lead for quite a while before Soldado scored a header fairly, or sort of halfway through the second half. So I'm actually fairly pleased with that, and I've told the guys that, so that is good. So 1-1 draw definitely puts us in the box seat, being the away game. So yeah, right. We're going to show you the couple of goals first. So it went down as an own goal, but I didn't really think it was personally, but anyway. So we had a lot of joy out wide again, which is quite good. So I think this is probably where the strength of this tactic is out wide, which is good. So I suppose it was a goalkeeping error, but it was a good shot by Nuri anyway. So I'll take it. We deserved it because we hit the woodwork that many damn times. I think it must have been 4 or 5 times. Actually, it should be in here. I think I showed the stats. I'm actually going to customize this to show the woodwork, hit the woodwork. Where is it? Oh, I can't see it there anyway. Alright, so I'm going to wind that back a little bit, guys, just quickly. Wasn't too exciting really, but yeah, so basically just a cross, and just Soldado was just too good in the air, unfortunately. So they got a good some space out wide. They switched it out to their fullback, and he crossed it in, and Soldado was just there. A little bit too good in the air, so yeah, wasn't great defending, but what can you do? So 1-1 draw, I'm actually fairly happy with that. So obviously we had a lot more shots on target, all that kind of stuff, so that was good. So it was a fairly good result for the first leg of that. I'm quite pleased for that. Like I said here, Villarreal hold out for the draw, so we're actually better. Nuri's out for 8 to 10 days. It's not too bad, I guess, considering. Obviously no injury would be best, but that's unfortunately what happens sometimes. Alrighty guys, the game saving thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video and actually jump ahead through the next Eredivisie game, because Eredivisie is pretty much sewn up, so I'm going to jump ahead through the next one, and we'll jump ahead to the Villarreal home game, so that should be good. Alrighty guys, I'll see you in a tick. Game day guys, against Villarreal, and something interesting, they've actually gone with their 4-2-2, 4-2-2 formation. I think it's actually the first time they've ever started with this, if I'm correct, so where can we actually get into their team? There we go. Their team reports, their tactics. They've only started with it once. I'm not sure if that's this time or maybe it's another time, but obviously they don't really start with it very often. So obviously I think it's going to give them a bit of an edge. I'm actually thinking, just looking at the formation, I'm not quite sure. Obviously we don't want, because we're not playing an AMC, so let's give their 2 defensive guys here, their defensive mids, a lot of time on the ball potentially, if we don't close them down. So I think what we may do, I think we'll just run with our normal formation. I don't think we're going to make any major changes, but we'll just make sure that we close these guys down a lot. May even bump up our overall closing down to actually increase that a little bit. We don't want to give these guys a lot of time on the ball, so we'll see about that. But yeah, alright. By the way, we actually had a 2-2 draw with whoever the hell it was, Canberra, SC Canberra. So I'm not too worried about that. We didn't play amazingly well, but we actually rested a lot of our guys. So, alright, cool. Yunus was injured, so only a few days injury for Yunus. That's he's not available for this game. It's not too bad. Alrighty, so Van Ryan's going to play out on the right again. Boylerson's going to play out on the left. I think I'm going to give Vergiva another go in place of Heidegger. Heidegger's not playing all that well. I'm not really sure whether we're going to keep him on, actually. I think we did give him another contract, didn't we? Yeah, until the end of next year. I think we'll keep him around because he'll be a good shooter, but I don't think he's going to play a whole lot next season. I think he's going to be sort of a bit of a sub player. Hasn't done all that well. Looks like he's declining quite a bit. Claessen's going to play in place with Duarte. I think I'm actually putting Serrero. Where's Serrero? Serrero's playing, isn't he? Maybe not. I was thinking about putting him into the box-to-box. He probably suits that role a little bit more than Nemanja G. But I think I'll put Nemanja G in there, because Nemanja G's not playing all that well. Really, to be perfectly honest. He hasn't played that well for a while. He's in a bit of a slump. I don't know. Because he is more of an offensive player. Like, his positionings and marking, tackling aren't great. So that's why I haven't really played him in the defensive midfield role, but I thought the box-to-box, like his teamwork and his work rate would sort of suit him really well. But for some reason, he's just not playing all that well. Almost tempted to have a go at him, but I don't think that would really have worked that well. To warn him about his recent form. Maybe I should do it. Maybe that's going to snap him out of it. He hasn't played badly, but he hasn't played all that well either. I suppose he had like 6.8, 6.9. I don't know. Maybe I should give it a go. Alright, well that worked out well. So maybe that'll be able to spare me in. So we'll give him another run in the box-to-box role. We can put Buzzaware in as the defensive mid. The back line's sorted. Goalkeeper's sorted. You put Nuri. He's injured. Oh damn, that he was injured, wasn't he? So we could either go for Sinkgraven or Duarte. Duarte's been playing quite well, so he's only done at 91% though. So I'm thinking maybe Sinkgraven. He's a natural out left, so maybe we'll give him a run. He's got some good teamwork, good work rate, so... Alright, we'll give him a run. We'll give him a run out at left. It's a little bit of a gamble, but Duarte's only down to 91%. He has been playing well, but still down to fairly low conditioning, so I may replace him a bit later on. I think I'm going to put Shone out on the right in place of El Ghazi. Milik's back, but I think, I don't know whether we should give him a run, see how he goes. Didn't really play that well last game, and he's 6.6, which should probably be expected. I just think he is actually owed a promise in terms of playing again. Once he came back from injury. El Ghazi's been playing so well though. He's only down at 90% though. Big decision. We're going to play El Ghazi. I think we have to. Just in terms of form, 8.14 form in the last 5 games. We just have to play him. So even if it makes Milik unhappy, we'll probably start Milik in the next bunch of games. Just get his promise thing resolved. But unfortunately, I think we're going to have to start with... Not unfortunately, I think we just have to start with El Ghazi. I don't think we've got a choice, really. Alright, so that should be our full team. Alright, that looks good to me. Alright, we're going to jump into the match. So, 1-1 at the home. So we've obviously got the away goal, which suits us. So yeah, so I don't think we're going to make any major changes here. We're definitely going to close down both of the defensive mids. Close them down quickly. What about Samuel? What about your feet? We can't see. No, it doesn't work, does it? You're fairly strong on both. What about Suarez? Fairly strong on both, so I'm not going to do anything with there. I think Bakambu, you were pretty weak on one, weren't you? Yeah. Weak on your left. We're going to show you onto your left, and I think you were pretty strong on both. Yep, you were. Right, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to do right now. Fairly good crossing. Not amazing crossing. Thinking about showing you inwards. You got good passing and vision though, so I'm a little bit reluctant to do that. Good first touch. Alright, I'm just going to leave it stock standard. It's not a whole lot there, but I think we're just going to do that for now. On a good run, so we're going to go for that. Didn't really do much. Alrighty guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back hopefully with a result one way or another, which would be a good result for us anyway. So see you all soon. Oh guys, that was we led for the entirety of the game. We were playing really well and they scored a very, very late goal. So we're into extra time, which is disappointing, but that's the way things go. Alrighty, I'm going to let them say it was disappointing because it was. We shouldn't have done that. We should have played a lot better. Anyway, alrighty guys, I'm going to run through extra time and we'll be back shortly. Another penalty match, guys. It's still 1-1 after extra time, so we are into penalties. Alrighty. So Milik, yep, Shone, Klaassen. I think we'll go Serrero. Thinking composure though. Composure is a big thing in penalties. I suppose we'll go you. Probably Riederwald for Giva. Well, listen, alright. Alrighty guys, here we go. Alrighty, first penalty. Oh no. Very disappointed if we lose to Villarreal. Anyway, here we go. Silerson didn't even move. You slacker. You stand there. I'll sack you. Alrighty, so we're down 1 already. Shoney will score though. Shoney doesn't miss. He's a man. Alright, he slots it away. That's good. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yes! Silerson saves 1, so we're back on even. Good, good, good. Claessen's up. Claessen doesn't miss. Claessen's my favourite player in the team. We love Claessen. And he scores, of course he does. Of course he does. Claessen will never miss. Oh, I thought he was going to miss then, actually. Still even. It's all good. Still fine. Serrero's up. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, damn. So, even if we score, I think if they score, they still win, don't they? So we've got to score this one to stay in. Oh no, we lost! Oh no. Oh, that's really disappointing. That is really, really... We were the better team over the 2 legs. That is really disappointing. I actually thought we'd actually have a good shot at making the final. Actually, up against... it was Schalke and Sevilla, wasn't it? I think from memory. Anyway, it's done. There's nothing we can do about it. We're just going to come back next season. Our guys don't have a whole lot of good penalty takers, actually, to be perfectly honest, in the team. I actually get stuck into them. That wasn't good enough. Oh no, it's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Yes, exactly. Should reveal my fury. Freaking bunch of slackers. So we've just got the Eredivisie game. I've only got 4 more Eredivisie games to go. I think what I may do actually, guys, I may just run through the next 2. We'll pick it up at the 20 game, and then we'll just run through to the end of the season. So I'll probably actually try and finish the season in this episode. So still got another 8 minutes to go at least. So I think we'll try and end the season here. Just to get through it, because the Eredivisie should be pretty well wrapped up now. We're fair way in front, so I only need another, I think, 4 points, from memory to actually tie it up. So, Alrighty, guys, I'll be back soon. Hey guys, just wanted to show you this. We've actually won the Eredivisie without even playing a game. So we only needed a point against Utrecht in the next game, but we actually won the title already. So I think that was because, so obviously whatever the results went our way. So we actually won the Eredivisie title, which is pleasing. Obviously it was expected. Always would have been very, very disappointed if we didn't win, but it's quite good to win it actually with 4 games to spare. So obviously we are quite a way in front, which is awesome. So as you can see here, we've done really well. So only lost 2 games all season. Scored the most, conceded the least actually, which is a little bit surprising. So we haven't really done all that well in defensively, I would have thought anyway. So yeah, so done really well, which is very, very pleasing. So that is good. So I'm just going to run through. I'm actually probably run through 3 or 4 games now that we've actually won the Eredivisie season. I may actually pick it up at the end of the season, just after the final game of the season, given there's not really anything else to play for. So right guys, I'll see you soon. And we are back, guys. So, the Eredivisie is finished. We had a couple of defeats in the last 4 matches. 2 wins, 2 defeats. Wasn't too phased about that, though. We basically played our second string team. Actually gave a lot of the B team some runs in the first team, just get some experience and that kind of stuff. So, that was fine. So, we're going to do a bit of a wrap-up in these last 8 or 9 minutes of the episode. So, where are we? Where do we see the full thing? Oh, here we are, league table. Alright, so this is the final league table for the season. So as we can see here, we ended up having the title by 12 points, which was a very, very good result. And there was 4 matches in the whole season. 2 of those came in the last 4 games. So that was quite pleasing. Conceded the least amount of goals, scored the most, which was quite good. So yeah, pretty happy with that. All in all, it was a very good season in the Eredivisie. Very, very happy with that. So couldn't do a whole lot better, really. Cool. So, what else we got? Competition. So, as we saw, we got knocked out in the group stages. Unfortunately, the Champions League, in the Euro Cup, we got knocked out in the quarterfinal. Oh, bloody Villarreal. Penalties. Dutch Cup, we got knocked out in the 4th round, very, very embarrassingly. So we're going to put quite a big effort into the Dutch Cup next year. Actually, I think it's been a while since Ajax have won it in real life. So see if we can actually rectify that. How actually Villarreal going? How's the Euro Cup going? So actually Villarreal actually made the final. Well, at least that's something. So who'd they beat? They must have beaten Sevilla 3-2. Liverpool beat Dnipro on 5-1. Alright, interesting. Well, at least they made the final. That's something at least. So, Champions League, actually, I think it's Man United Real Madrid final at the San Siro. So, very interesting game. We'll sort of keep an eye on that. It should be quite an interesting fixture. So that's how we went in this season. What do we look at? What else can we look at, guys? May look at sort of leagues around the world. So, I always find this quite interesting. Real Madrid romped at home in the Liga in Spain. So they ended up winning by, 10 points over Barcelona, which is quite a big victory. And then Barcelona were, 15 points above Atletico. So Real Madrid had a bit of a bananas crazy season. They lost one game the entire season, drawn 6, 96 points, scored 106 goals, only conceded 29. So it went a bit crazy. So obviously Real Madrid and Barcelona just went crazy, bananas. So Real Madrid were 25 points in front of 3rd place, which is a bit crazy. So Real Sociedad actually finished in 4th, so they're actually playing Champions League football next season, which is a bit of a joke. Comparing how they're going in real life, so that was obviously good for them anyway. So so that was interesting. What else have we got here? English Premier Division. So Man City are going to take that one out. Oh, no, see, one more game to go. I've got a game in hand though. 36 games, so 38 game season. So they should take that out. It's not confirmed yet though. It's actually the top of its. Well, obviously, 1st and 2nd are closed up. They're done. 3rd and 4th actually is a bit of a race for those. There's a fair bit of a gap between 4th and 5th though. So 17 points at the moment. So that's interesting. So obviously the top 4 is City, Chelsea, United, Arsenal, and Tottenham and especially Liverpool falling away a bit. Leicester, Norwich, Bournemouth are all going to get relegated by the looks of it. I suppose West Brom and Leicester could swap still. Depends how the last fixture goes. What else we got? League One. AS Monaco actually wrapped up the title. Paris Saint-Germain actually finished 3rd. Marseille finished 2nd. Interesting. Too much. Actually, Bordeaux got relegated. Actually, a little bit of a surprise. Bordeaux, a fairly big club, really. Hadn't finished lower than 15th in the last 20 years. So that's quite a bad result for them. Interesting. Still remember when Gorkov used to play for them. Oh, I still love him. When he was at Bordeaux, he was brilliant. And then it just all went to hell after that. So anyway, sometimes that's the way things go. That's the way things go. German First Division, Bayern wrapped up the title, 5 points. It's fairly close actually, considering. Only 67 points was the win, which is quite a low total for a sort of a league victory. Stuttgart was 2nd, Dortmund 3rd, Wolfsburg 4th. No major surprises in the relegations. Italy, Juventus won by a lot, almost 17 points there. Roma was 2nd, which is quite a good victory for Roma. Inter Milan, it's actually sort of the old guard have come back again. So obviously Inter and AC Milan are struggling in real life, but obviously they're doing quite well here. Napoli, Lazio, Fiorentina, Palermo, interesting. And who's going to play Premier League football next season? Oh, here we are. League table. So Hull and Brentford actually finished 1st and 2nd, so they're done. How's the playoffs going? Final is not done yet. Semi-final is Bolton, Fulham, Brighton, QPR. Interesting. All right. So that's all pretty much the leagues around the world. Celtic won the Scottish League fairly easily. It actually did. I'm actually have a look in here just for a bit of interest's sake. How do we get to the 2nd league? Where's Scotland? We're looking here. Scotland. Championship. Did Rangers get promoted? Oh, they're in the playoffs. So actually promotion playoffs. 1st round, 2nd round. St Mirren rate. Oh, so they actually got to play in the playoffs to actually get promoted. So interesting. Alrighty, guys. Player stats. Maybe do a little bit of a quick recap here. So what have we got here? Goals and shots attempts. Best player was Eunice, which was interesting. Shots on target attempted. Donny van den Beek. Penalties scored taken. Milik, 4 out of 4. What else we got? Passes succeeded and attempted. Cerny. I'm not sure why he's. Oh, because he's didn't play. He played. Tackles 1, actually Veltman was the best, actually interesting. He didn't play a lot of the season. Aerial challenges was Dykes. Crosses succeeded was Vagiva. Red cards. He actually didn't have any red cards all the game, the whole season, did we? Which is pretty good considering. What else have we got here? Nothing too much there really. Interesting, to be perfectly honest. Blah blah blah. Alrighty, so I'm going to do a bit of analysis here in my own little stats sheet. So, who's going to play? Who played the most games? Sillison, probably, and obviously. Shone, Nemanja G. Buzzware played a lot of games. Davey Klaassen, Riedewald played a lot, which is good. So good to see those two guys actually get a lot of games. Milik, El Ghazi, Nuri. So a lot of the young guys got quite a few games, which is very, very pleasing. Usually I say if a player's not going to get 15 or 20 first team games a season like a young player, then they shouldn't actually be playing first team football. So looks like pretty much most of our young players, anyone who was sort of actually started in the first team, got at least 15 games. So Sinkgraven was probably the one that missed out a little bit. He did have a bit of an injury there for a while, so probably he would like to give him a little bit more game time. I think next season will definitely give him. He's only 20 years old, so still got quite a bit of development to go, but he's going to be a good player, so I'd like to give him quite a bit more game time next season. Yeah, but most of them, Eunice even got 22 games, so anything over, I think 20 games is really a really good mark, and you give a young player 20 games and they actually usually see quite a bit of development, so good to see players like Buzzaware and Riedewald actually get, over 30 games, which is probably why they've developed so well through this season. So Buzzaware especially is looking a really solid player now. Only 19 years old, he's looking a very, very good player. Same with Riedewald. 19 years old as well. He's easily good enough to start first team football. So yeah, very, very pleasing. Good to see those guys develop well. Alrighty, what else have we got here? Goals. Milik was our top goal scorer, which is good. Shone, El Ghazi both had 15. Yunus had 12. Nuri 8. Klaassen, Buzzaware. So quite good. See, Milik was our number one man, which is good. But good to see El Ghazi playing that striking role for sort of about 2 months there when Milik was injured. Got quite a few goals, which is good. Key passes. Davey Klaassen, not surprised. Oh no, Lasse Shone. Oh, that's interesting. I thought it was a Davey Klaassen. Actually, Lasse Shone had 125. Actually romped it in there, didn't he? 125. The next one was 78 with Van Rijn. Nuri on 78. Klaassen on 77. Shone is a very, very good player. Obviously 29 years old. He'll turn 30 next year. Still a very, very good player though. Very invaluable he is. He's done very, very well. Key tackles. Riedewald, it's good, pleasing to see. Veltman, actually it's very pleasing to see as well, even though he missed out 4 or 5 months, wasn't it, with his broken leg. So it looks like he's just coming back, which is good. Van Rijn, Dykes, Heitinga. Key headers was Riedewald again. So Riedewald's done really, really well, hasn't he? Interesting. What about ratings? So Eunice, 7.62 rating for Eunice. Very interesting. Seems I'm still not I'm thinking in terms of stats. I don't know. I just think he's got some obviously really great qualities, but he's got some glaring weaknesses through a lot of, especially his mental stats. I think his technical stuff's good, his physical stuff's pretty good for actually very good for what he needs it to be. But just his mental stuff, obviously, it doesn't let him down too much. Because he's had a really good season. 12 goals, 9 assists, 4 player of the matches. So he's done really well. So pleasing to see, very, very good to see. So hopefully he continues that. What else have we got? Terry L actually got a 7.55 after 7 games. That's quite pleasing to see for a 19-year-old fullback, because his stats aren't anything too amazing really. So good to see that he performed well. Leroy actually did another good. Actually, 4 games though. Bolison, 25 games, played really, really well. Dijon after 3 games. Lasse Shone, Nuri, Van Rijn. That's cool. What else we got here? Pass completion rate. Nemanja G, Donny Vandenbeek. 87, 87, and a whole bunch of 86s. So Serrero, Terry L, Buzzaware, Klaassen, even Sillison, 86%. It's quite good to see. Passes attempted, Donny Vandenbeek. Interesting. Serrero, Klaassen. Mistakes. Who made the most mistakes? Nemanja G. That doesn't surprise me. Probably given his ratings, he didn't really have all that great a season, I think, which is interesting. It was his first team in playing Ajax football, so he's great stats. He really should be a gun player, but not sure whether I misused him. Potentially, I know the box-to-box doesn't necessarily. He's more of an offensive player, but I would have thought he would be able to pull it off. Maybe I've looked at changing him to something else. Maybe I'm looking, rotating him and Klaassen in an attacking role potentially. Something I'll have to look at. Interesting. All right, I'll think about that, because he obviously didn't have an amazing season. Only 6.96 rating. Actually, one of our lowest ratings which is not very, very good at all. Which is Serrero didn't have a great rating either. Interesting. Maybe I should get rid of Serrero. Interesting. Alright, some decisions to be made. What else are we looking at? Passes attempted. Sorry, mistakes. So Klaassen had 124 mistakes, interestingly. Which is really surprising. Given his mental stuff, I wouldn't have thought he would actually... So maybe I should look at changing that central midfield attacking role. Maybe I should look at changing it into something like an advanced playmaking role, rather than just as just an attacking midfielder role. Might look at that. So I wouldn't have thought, given his stats, he shouldn't really make that many mistakes. Like, he's got brilliant mentals like composure, decision, concentrations, anticipation, technique, all that kind of stuff. He shouldn't make that many mistakes. So interesting. Barzoer, Vergiva, Riederwald. Assists per 90 minutes. Nuri was actually up there with the top, and then closely followed by Leroy and Terry L. Eunice. Shone, cool. Distance covered. Who worked the hardest? Davy Klaassen. That's what I quite pleasing to see. Van Rijn, Shone. Dribbles per game. Owusu, Eunice. Goals per 90 minutes. Milik. So obviously that's probably not surprising. Eunice actually did well. Olgazi, Duarte. Actually, I think Duarte actually did very, very well. Given that we actually I sent him out on loan for the first half of the season because I didn't think he really had a place. He actually came back into the team and did really well. So over 7 games, or 7 starts, he had 4 goals, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches for a 7.31 average rating. So he actually did really, really well, and he actually performed really well in a variety of roles. So I think I'm actually going to keep him in the squad next season. He's a good utility player. He's not really going to be like an every game starter, but he should be like a really good utility player. So that's quite pleasing to see. Interceptions, who won that? So Riederwald, Vergiva, Heitinger, Veltman. So Riederwald actually had nearly double 100 more interceptions than the next place, which was Vergiva. So that was actually quite pleasing to see. Very, very good. So Riederwald had a really good season, I think, personally. Like, I know his average rating was only 6.99, but I think personally, like, he played really, really well. Interesting. Alrighty, guys. I think that's pretty much going to be it for this season. This season, yes, and this episode as well. So I think what we'll do next episode, probably have like a big planning episode. So I'll probably run through some training changes. Going to run through a whole bunch of scouting, like expiring contracts, players transfer listed, youth Dutch players that we maybe want to target and things like that, and maybe look at some tweaks to our tactics and all that kind of stuff, and do some planning and have a big planning episode next episode for next season. Which should be good. Alrighty, guys, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Hope you've enjoyed this season, actually. So the season's over. And let me know any feedback, comments, suggestions, all that kind of stuff. Always willing to hear all that kind of stuff. It would be good. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and liked the video, that would be enormously appreciated if you could do that. Alrighty, guys, hope you all had a wonderful day, and I'll see you all soon.